Welcome back, kids and coaches. I'm Coach Kent Murphy. Let's head out to the city of brotherly bowling to get our heads cracked worse than the Liberty Bell as we look at the Philadelphia Phillies 2020 roster. It's been hard for Phillies fans this offseason. They limped their way to 500 last year, and now they're wondering if they can only burn things down when they win championships. Hell, it's getting pretty dark down there in Philly, too. They're even in danger of losing their mascot, the Philly Fanatic. And in a town of big green losers, the Philly Fanatic is probably the most beloved of all. I guess the fans are just going to have to turn to other forms of entertainment, like watching each other puke on their children. But, they got a fresh new batch of free agents coming in this offseason that are inspiring hope for wins, or at least giving people new targets to throw beer bottles at when the wins don't come. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Phillies roster. Phillies opted to bolster their pitching staff with guys whose numbers are too low for even the Mets to invest in them. Hell, Wheeler and Arrieta are like an old lady with a pair of big old fake boobs. Yeah, I mean, the opposing hitters will still knock them around, but they just won't feel too proud of themselves when they do it. Closing it down, we got Hector Neris. He only works on days when the Phillies might actually win the game. The only guy in Philly who works less than him is Ben Simmons' shooting coach. At catcher, we got JT Realmuto. Hell, last year he caught almost 50% of the people trying to steal on him, which will also serve him very well in the streets of Philadelphia. At first base, you got old Reese Hoskins. He's the only guy on the team with fewer hits than boys to men. Hell, he had 173 strikeouts and batted .226 last year. So I'm sure the Motown Philly fans are having a much easier time saying goodbye to yesterday. At second base, you got Scott Kingery. He batted .256 with 147 strikeouts last year. Or as Philly fans call him, a prime battery target. Third base, you got old Gene Segura. He had 20 errors last year, which is only 19 more than a good player. If all the balls that got by him got together and wrote a movie, it'd be called Catch Me If You Can. Shortstop, you got old Didi Gregorius. He batted .238 last year. So, don't be fooled by that slogan, City of Brotherly Love. The boos will be louder in Philly. In left field, you got Andrew McCutchen. For a long time, he was the best player on the Pirates, so, it must have been tough to leave there knowing that at any given time on your roster, you were just 8 position players and 5 pitchers short of being an actual contender. Hell, the Yankees rented you for a postseason push a couple years ago, but after seeing your playoff stats, I doubt they got their deposit back when they returned you. Center field, you got a real Jim Adam Hazley, batted .266 with 5 dingers last year. Hell, your walk-up music ought to be Only Happy When It Rains by Garbage. Right field, you got Bryce Harper, former MVP whose contract is more like HPV. You only get it from being screwed and it never actually leaves your system. I mean, you hit dingers, which is pretty cool, but must have been hard for you watching the Nationals win the World Series last year. If only you could have stayed, hell, you could have prevented them from even winning the division and having a chance. Well, that's it for the 2020 Phillies. My advice to you is just get beat up by some tough kids on the playground and get sent away like the Fresh Prince. If I were Joe Girardi, I'd just start scouting the garbage men now. Maybe run the stairs from Rocky, and I guess that leaves you out, Jay Bruce. Hell, maybe if you're lucky, Chase Utley will come back and start sliding into some of these guys' knees and try to end their career so you can start over. So looking at the numbers, I'd say there's a snowball's chance at Santa Claus Hell you win 33 games. If you go full Astros, maybe 41.